Article 1. The cognitive benefits of bilingualism. In recent decades, a growing body of research has illuminated the cognitive advantages associated with bilingualism. Once believed to cause confusion or delay in language development, bilingualism is now recognized as a powerful contributor to mental flexibility and cognitive health. This shift in understanding is driven by numerous studies from psychology, linguistics, and neuroscience that highlight how speaking more than one language can enhance executive function, delay cognitive decline, and even affect the structure of the brain. Executive function refers to a set of mental processes that include attention control, working memory, problem solving, and task switching. These skills are essential for managing daily life and complex thinking. Bilingual individuals constantly manage two language systems, which requires them to monitor their environment for cues about which language to use, suppress one language while using the other, and switch between them when necessary. This continuous practice appears to strengthen the brain's executive control system. One of the most consistent findings in bilingualism research is the advantage in attentional control. Bilinguals tend to be better at filtering out irrelevant information and focusing on the task at hand. For instance, in a commonly used psychological test known as the Stroop task, bilingual participants often outperform monolinguals. This test involves naming the color of a word that spells out a different color name, e.g., the word red written in blue ink. The ability to suppress the automatic tendency to read the word and instead name the ink color is thought to reflect the strength of inhibitory control, a key component of executive function. Bilingualism may also contribute to greater cognitive reserve, a concept referring to the brain's resilience to age-related decline and neurodegenerative diseases such as Alzheimer's. Research has shown that bilingual individuals often experience the onset of dementia symptoms several years later than their monolingual counterparts. This suggests that the mental exercise of managing two languages can act as a buffer against the effects of aging, possibly by promoting more efficient neural pathways or by increasing the brain's capacity to compensate for damage. Neuroimaging studies support the idea that bilingualism can lead to physical changes in the brain. Regions involved in executive control, such as the anterior cingulate cortex and the dorsolateral prefrontal cortex, are often more developed in bilinguals. Structural differences in gray and white matter have also been observed. These changes may not only enhance cognitive abilities, but also reflect the brain's adaptation to the demands of bilingual language use. The benefits of bilingualism are not confined to early childhood. While it is true that young children can acquire languages more easily, adults who learn a second language later in life can still experience cognitive gains. In fact, some studies suggest that the effort required for language learning in adulthood may lead to even greater mental stimulation. This challenges the outdated belief that the brain becomes too inflexible for new languages after a certain age. Despite the compelling evidence for the cognitive benefits of bilingualism, researchers caution that these advantages are influenced by various factors, including the level of proficiency in both languages, the frequency of language use, and the context in which the languages are spoken. For instance, individuals who regularly use both languages in different settings, such as at home and at work, may show greater cognitive advantages than those who use their second language infrequently. Moreover, the benefits of bilingualism may interact with socioeconomic and educational variables. Bilingual individuals from higher socioeconomic backgrounds often have access to better educational resources, which can also enhance cognitive development. Therefore, while bilingualism is a significant factor, it is not the sole determinant of cognitive performance. Ongoing research seeks to isolate the effects of bilingualism from these confounding variables to better understand its true impact. In conclusion, Bilingualism offers numerous cognitive benefits that extend beyond communication. From improved executive function and attentional control to delayed cognitive decline and brain structural changes, the advantages of being bilingual are both profound and multifaceted. As societies become increasingly globalized and multilingual, understanding and promoting bilingualism may not only enrich cultural connections, but also serve as a valuable tool for cognitive health and development. Article 2. The geological significance of plate tectonics. The theory of plate tectonics, developed in the mid-20th century, revolutionized the field of geology by providing a unifying framework to explain a wide array of geological phenomena. It describes the Earth's outer shell, the lithosphere, as being divided into several large and small plates that float atop the semi-fluid asthenosphere. These plates are constantly moving, driven by forces such as mantle convection, gravity, and the Earth's rotation. The interactions between these tectonic plates have shaped, and continue to shape, the surface of the Earth in profound ways. One of the most critical outcomes of plate movement is the creation of geological features such as mountains, ocean basins, and volcanoes. For example, when two continental plates converge, the immense pressure causes the Earth's crust to crumple and rise, forming mountain ranges like the Himalayas. In contrast, when an oceanic plate collides with a continental plate, the denser oceanic plate typically subducts beneath the continental one, leading to the formation of volcanic arcs such as those found along the Pacific Ring of Fire. Earthquakes are another consequence of tectonic activity. Most seismic events occur at plate boundaries where stress accumulates as plates grind against or move past one another. Transform boundaries, such as the San Andreas Fault in California, are especially prone to earthquakes due to the lateral sliding of plates. The sudden release of built-up energy causes seismic waves to radiate through the Earth's crust, sometimes resulting in devastating effects on human populations and infrastructure. Divergent boundaries, where plates move apart from each other, also play a vital role in Earth's geological dynamics. These are often found in mid-ocean ridges, such as the Mid-Atlantic Ridge, where magma rises from beneath the Earth's crust to create new oceanic lithosphere. This process not only contributes to seafloor spreading, but also provides insight into the thermal and compositional properties of the Earth's interior. In addition to their physical impacts, tectonic processes have far-reaching implications for Earth's climate and biological evolution. The formation and breakup of supercontinents, like Pangaea, have altered global ocean circulation and atmospheric patterns, influencing climate over geological timescales. Moreover, tectonic uplift has exposed new rock surfaces to weathering, which in turn can draw carbon dioxide from the atmosphere, acting as a long-term regulator of the Earth's climate. The movement of tectonic plates also affects the distribution of natural resources. For instance, the concentration of valuable minerals and fossil fuels is often associated with past and present tectonic activity. Subduction zones can produce mineral-rich magma that crystallizes into ore deposits, while sedimentary basins formed by plate movement can become reservoirs for oil and natural gas. Understanding tectonic processes is therefore essential not only for academic research, but also for resource exploration and management. Modern techniques such as satellite geodesy and seismic tomography have significantly advanced our understanding of plate tectonics. Satellite measurements can detect ground movements of mere millimeters, allowing scientists to monitor tectonic shifts with remarkable precision. Seismic tomography, which uses the travel times of seismic waves to create 3D images of the Earth's interior, has helped researchers identify subducting slabs and mantle plumes, features that drive plate motion and volcanic activity. Despite its many explanatory powers, the theory of plate tectonics continues to be refined. Scientists are still exploring the exact mechanisms that initiate subduction, the role of water in weakening lithospheric plates, and the behavior of plate boundaries in regions with complex geological histories. Additionally, some phenomena, such as intraplate earthquakes, those occurring far from any plate boundary, pose ongoing questions for geologists and challenge existing models. Plate tectonics also intersects with human society in multiple ways. By understanding tectonic risks, urban planners and engineers can design infrastructure to withstand earthquakes and tsunamis. Furthermore, Educational initiatives in tectonic science promote awareness and preparedness, especially in high-risk regions. The integration of tectonic knowledge into disaster planning and environmental policy underscores its relevance far beyond the confines of scientific research. Article 3. The evolution of theater in ancient Greece. The origins of Western theater can be traced to ancient Greece, where dramatic performance evolved from religious rituals into a sophisticated form of art and public discourse. Initially rooted in festivals honoring the god Dionysus, Greek drama transitioned from choral songs and dances to organized performances with distinct roles and scripts. This evolution not only laid the groundwork for modern theater, but also reflected and influenced the values and political structures of Greek society. The earliest forms of Greek drama emerged during the 6th century BCE, particularly through the dithyramb, a choral hymn sung in praise of Dionysus. These performances were often conducted in open-air spaces and involved elaborate costumes, music, and rhythmic chanting. Over time, these ritualistic displays became more structured and began incorporating narrative elements. The addition of a solo performer or actor marked a significant shift from purely collective expression to individualized storytelling. Thespis, a figure often credited as the first actor, is said to have stepped out of the chorus to engage in dialogue, thereby inventing the concept of theatrical acting. His innovation introduced the idea of impersonation, allowing performers to assume different identities within a narrative framework. This development enabled more complex storytelling and set the stage for the emergence of tragedy and comedy as formal genres within Greek theater. Athenian festivals, especially the city Dionysia, became key venues for dramatic competition and innovation. These festivals featured a series of plays performed by playwrights competing for public acclaim and prizes. The dramatic contests required playwrights to present a tetralogy, 3 tragedies followed by a satyr play, over the course of several days. The scale and popularity of these events suggest that theater played a vital role in civic life, serving both as entertainment and as a forum for ethical and political reflection. Among the most influential playwrights of this era were Aeschylus, Sophocles, and Euripides, whose works explored themes of fate, justice, and human suffering. Aeschylus is credited with introducing a second actor, expanding the potential for dramatic interaction. Sophocles added a third actor and placed greater emphasis on character development and dramatic irony. Euripides, often considered the most modern of the three, challenged traditional norms by depicting flawed protagonists and questioning divine justice. Comedy also emerged as a distinct genre during the classical period, most notably through the works of Aristophanes. In contrast to tragedy, which often dealt with mythological and heroic subjects, comedy focused on contemporary events, public figures, and social issues. Aristophanes used satire to critique political leaders, intellectual trends, and cultural practices, often incorporating fantastical elements and humorous exaggeration. His plays provide valuable insight into Athenian democracy and public sentiment. The structure of Greek theaters contributed significantly to the dramatic experience. Constructed into hillsides, theaters such as the Theater of Dionysus in Athens could accommodate thousands of spectators. The design featured a circular orchestra for the chorus, a raised stage for actors, and a scene or backdrop that could be used for entrances and scene changes. The acoustics and sightlines of these venues were so advanced that even those seated far from the stage could hear and see the performance clearly. Performance in Greek theater was highly stylized. All actors were male and wore masks to portray different characters, including women. These masks not only amplified the voice, but also allowed for quick role changes. Gestures and movement were exaggerated to convey emotion and meaning to large audiences. The chorus played a central role in commenting on the action, providing context, and guiding the audience's interpretation of events. While Greek theater was initially centered in Athens, its influence spread throughout the Hellenic world and beyond, particularly following the conquests of Alexander the Great. Greek theatrical traditions were adopted and adapted by the Romans, who introduced innovations such as permanent stone theaters and more elaborate stagecraft. Nonetheless, the core elements of plot structure, character archetypes, and thematic exploration remained rooted in the Greek tradition. The legacy of ancient Greek theater endures in contemporary performance and dramatic theory. Concepts such as catharsis, dramatic unity, and tragic flaw, articulated by thinkers like Aristotle, continue to inform modern storytelling. Furthermore, the use of theater as a platform for social commentary, moral inquiry, and communal engagement can be traced directly to its ancient origins. By examining Greek theater, we gain not only an understanding of a pivotal cultural practice, but also a lens through which to view the enduring power of performance in human societies. Article 4. The formation and role of coral reefs in marine ecosystems. Coral reefs are among the most biologically diverse and ecologically significant ecosystems on Earth, often referred to as the rainforests of the sea. These structures are built by colonies of tiny marine organisms called coral polyps. Over thousands of years, polyps secrete calcium carbonate, gradually forming vast reef systems that can span hundreds of kilometers. Coral reefs are not only critical to marine biodiversity, but also provide a wide range of ecological and economic services to human societies. The development of coral reefs is largely dependent on environmental conditions such as water temperature, salinity, light availability, and nutrient levels. Reefs typically form in shallow, warm waters between the tropics of Cancer and Capricorn, where sunlight can penetrate and facilitate the photosynthetic activity of symbiotic algae called zooxanthellae. These algae live within the coral tissues and provide the polyps with essential nutrients, while benefiting from the protection and metabolic waste produced by the host. There are three primary types of coral reefs: fringing reefs, barrier reefs, and atolls. Fringing reefs grow directly from the shoreline, creating narrow platforms along the coast. Barrier reefs, like the Great Barrier Reef in Australia, are separated from the shore by deeper lagoons and can extend for great distances. Atolls, which are circular reef formations enclosing a central lagoon, typically develop around submerged volcanic islands. These classifications help scientists understand reef formation processes and their relationship to geological changes. Coral reefs play a vital role in maintaining the health of marine ecosystems. They provide shelter, feeding grounds, and breeding sites for a vast array of marine species, including fish, mollusks, crustaceans, and sea turtles. The structural complexity of reefs supports intricate food webs and fosters species specialization. Moreover, reefs act as natural breakwaters, reducing wave energy and protecting coastal communities from storm surges and erosion. The economic value of coral reefs extends far beyond their ecological contributions. They support commercial and subsistence fishing, generate revenue through tourism and recreation, and contribute to coastal protection. According to some estimates, coral reefs provide ecosystem services worth hundreds of billions of dollars annually. This value, however, is difficult to quantify precisely, as many of the benefits are indirect or long-term in nature. Despite their importance, coral reefs are under increasing threat from a range of human and environmental stressors. Climate change is the most significant long-term danger, as rising sea temperatures can cause coral bleaching, a phenomenon in which corals expel their symbiotic algae, leading to loss of color and, often, mortality. Ocean acidification, another consequence of increased atmospheric carbon dioxide, reduces the availability of carbonate ions necessary for reef building. In addition to climate-related threats, coral reefs are impacted by overfishing, coastal development, pollution, and destructive fishing practices such as blast fishing and cyanide fishing. Sedimentation from land runoff can smother corals, while excess nutrients from agricultural runoff promote algal blooms that outcompete corals for space and light. These combined pressures have led to widespread reef degradation and biodiversity loss. Efforts to protect and restore coral reefs involve both local and global strategies. Marine protected areas, MPAs, can limit human activities and promote ecosystem recovery. Coral farming and transplantation techniques aim to repopulate damaged areas with healthy corals. On a broader scale, reducing greenhouse gas emissions is essential to mitigate climate change and ensure long-term reef survival. Education and community involvement are also vital for fostering stewardship and sustainable resource use. Scientific research continues to play a key role in understanding coral reef dynamics and resilience. Studies on coral genetics, reproduction, and stress tolerance offer insights into how reefs may adapt to changing environmental conditions. Additionally, Emerging technologies such as remote sensing and underwater drones are enhancing reef monitoring and management. Such advancements are crucial in designing effective conservation strategies in the face of accelerating environmental change. In conclusion, coral reefs represent a remarkable convergence of biological, geological, and ecological processes. Their formation over millennia has led to the development of some of the most vibrant and valuable ecosystems on the planet. Preserving coral reefs is not only an environmental imperative, but also a necessity for maintaining biodiversity, supporting livelihoods, and sustaining coastal resilience. Their survival depends on our collective ability to balance development with conservation and to act decisively in the face of global environmental challenges.